Do you want to make restaurant quality steaks at home? Then try cooking with Wagyu beef. I'm going to tell you all about what Wagyu is, plus I'm going to give you a discount code so you can grill some up for yourself. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the BBQ Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Christie Vanover, champion pitmaster, cookbook author, the girl behind one of America's top barbecue websites, GirlsCanGrill.com, and a contestant on Food Network's Barbecue Brawl. I'm here to bring you some quick barbecue tips to help you up your barbecue game. Today, I want to fill you in on a little secret of how you can make the most amazing steaks at home, and it starts with the type of beef that you choose. Now, granted, you can buy beef at the grocery store. You can go ahead and buy a choice grade beef, cook up a steak at home, and it's going to taste great. I have full confidence that you guys know how to do that, especially if you've watched some of my previous podcasts or listened to some of my previous podcasts all about steaks. But if you want to take your steak to the next level, like restaurant quality level, try cooking Wagyu beef. Let me talk to you about what exactly Wagyu beef is. First of all, in America, there is the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture grading scale, which grades beef basically from select to choice to prime, and that tells you how much marbling is in the beef. The more marbling, the more flavor. We've talked about that several times on the BBQ Tips podcast. The select grade is not going to have very much marbling at all. Choice has a few flecks of intermuscular fat, and then your prime beef has the most amount of intermuscular fat for the USDA grading scale. But there are actually cuts of beef that are graded beyond that level that have so much intermuscular marbling that they just surpass the prime grade altogether. It really comes down to how the cow itself, that breed of cow, is bred. So when it comes to Angus beef, there's black Angus, there's certified Angus. All of that varies based on how the cow is fed, the genetics, etc. But today we're going to talk about the Wagyu beef and how that varies. So Wagyu basically is a Japanese word. Wa means Japanese and Gyu means beef. So Wagyu is Japanese beef. That is where the breed originated from, was in Japan. But over the past several decades, some American cattle farmers have crossbred the Japanese Wagyu breed with some American breeds, sometimes Angus, sometimes other cattle breeds, and they have created what's called American Wagyu. Now, Japanese Wagyu beef is extremely marbled. You've probably seen photos or videos of it on social media where people slice into a piece of that beef and there's almost as much white marbling as there is of the beef and the meat itself. It is so intensely rich, and that fat, that marbling, as it cooks, it just melts down and it dissolves on your tongue, and it's just a really intense but beautiful piece of beef. Really gives you that natural beef flavor without having to do much more to it at all. But like I said, it is extremely rich. When you think of American cattle and American beef, it doesn't have that level of intermuscular fat, especially if you're talking about like a select or choice grade. So you're getting more of the meat ratio as opposed to the fat ratio. It's definitely not 50-50. So you're getting more of that beefy flavor, but not quite the same richness and luxuriousness. Well, with American Wagyu, they've taken the best of both worlds. They've taken that Japanese breed where you do get that intermuscular marbling, but you also get some of the American breeds, those high-end American breeds, and it's crossbred. So you get that great beefy, meaty flavor, but you also get the beautiful velvety texture of the Wagyu. The largest producer of American Wagyu in North America is Snake River Farms. That is a company that I have been working with and cooking their beef now for years, more than a decade really. I love the quality, I love the taste, I love the flavor. Let's talk about the taste. With American Wagyu, especially Snake River Farms, you are getting this flavor that is just a nice clean beef flavor, like really robust, but it also has that level of fat in there that just melts on your tongue and just, again, gives it that nice richness. When you're cooking with American Wagyu, really all you need is some kosher salt and maybe some black pepper. I, of course, love to use my brisket rub on it because this basically is kosher salt, coarse ground black pepper, garlic, and then a few other flavors that really enhance beef really nicely. So I use my brisket rub on all things beef. When it comes to Wagyu beef, all of your cuts are the exact same as you would get with any other type of beef, whether it's choice grade, prime grade. So you've got your steaks from ribeyes to fillets to strip steaks, porterhouse, flank steaks, skirt steaks, you name it, any kind of steak, you're going to get in Wagyu also, because basically it's just a cow. It's just a different breed. You also can get your roasts, your prime rib roast or your tenderloins, or my favorite when it comes to Wagyu is brisket. If you struggle a little bit with smoking brisket, I highly recommend at least once in your life you try smoking a Wagyu brisket. It is really life-changing. The level of fat in it keeps the brisket slices nice and moist. It's just so different than getting a choice grade brisket from the grocery store, like night and day different. The only type of brisket that I smoke on the competition circuit is a Snake River Farms gold brisket. So when I say gold, what Snake River Farms has done is instead of select, choice, and prime, because their marbling far surpasses that, they've kind of created their own grading system, which is silver, black, and gold. Silver has less marbling, black has a little bit more, and then gold has the most amount of marbling. Not quite what you would see in a pure Japanese breed, but it is still, again, far superior to prime grade. So when I'm smoking briskets on the competition circuit, I'm using Snake River Farms Gold. I go with 18 to 20 pound briskets. Now those are going to cost you a couple $100s, but you can get a black grade brisket at a 12 to 14 pound size for about $169. Again, about $100 more than you would get at the grocery store if you're getting a choice or a prime. However, I can save you 10%. I've partnered with Snake River Farms, and if you use the code GirlsCanGrill, all one word, you'll save 10%. That code works on steaks, on briskets, on ground beef, you name it. So I highly recommend you try that code if you want to give Wagyu beef a try. And I'm not the only competition cook cooking with Snake River Farms brisket. In fact, it's the most winningest brand of brisket that's out there. I cooked a Snake River Farms Gold at the Jack Daniel's World Championship and got 5th place in the world. That's how good this brisket is. When I'm smoking a Wagyu brisket, I definitely cook it a little bit further than I would like a choice or prime grade. That's because I really want all of that fat in there to render down, especially with the brisket point. When I'm doing burn ends, I take the point to about 214 degrees internal temperature, because if you don't, that fat in there, as velvety and luscious as it is, if it hasn't rendered, it can be a little bit chewy. But if you cook it to the right temperature, it just melts in your mouth like butter and is so divine. It's like, again, like beef butter in your mouth. So keep that in mind. I've got some tips on my website at GirlsCanGrill.com for how to smoke Wagyu brisket, how to do competition briskets. And again, you're just going to take it to a little bit of a further final temperature. If I'm cooking a black grade brisket, I go just a little bit lower than that because it's not quite as much marbling, but still superior flavor and quality and just ultra delicious. Now, when I'm cooking Wagyu steaks, like a filet mignon or a ribeye, I do tend to still stick with rare to medium rare. That's just how I like my steaks in general. And those can handle that lower temperature. It's just those big cuts of meat where I like to take them further. And what I really love about my Snake River Farm brisket is that once I trim it, I actually take all of my trimmings. If I have the fat trimmed off, I turn that into Wagyu beef tallow, which is great for wrapping briskets, for frying things up. But then I also take my meat trimmings, because I have meat trimmings after competition barbecue cooks, and I grind that up to make my own Wagyu brisket beef blend. And it's so good for burgers, meatballs, meatloaf, all of that stuff. But if you don't want to go through that whole grinding process, you don't have to. They do sell Wagyu ground beef by the pound. It's $14 a pound plus my 10% discount, so $1.40 off. That's a really affordable way to kind of dip your toe into the Wagyu market, is to just get yourself a pound of ground beef. If you want to try something really exquisite, get a ribeye cap steak. So when you think of a ribeye, it's got the center of the ribeye, the kind of the fillet, the eye of the ribeye, but then there's also a fat cap around the edge, which is called a spinalis or a ribeye cap. There's so much delicious marbling in that. Well, Snake River Farms actually takes just that cap and rolls that into a steak. So to me, that is the best part of a ribeye. So if you want to get really exquisite with just a quick steak, try their ribeye cap. Super short show today, guys. I just wanted to give you that quick kind of 411 on what Wagyu beef is, what American Wagyu beef is. And of course, I want to get you that discount code GirlsCanGrill so you can save 10% when you try it at Snake River Farms. Now, if you do make a purchase, I make a small commission off it as well. So thank you so much. It's no additional cost to you. In fact, it's savings to you. So we both win. So be sure to go to snakeriverfarms.com, or I've got a link in the show notes as well to make it super easy for you. And just make sure that you use that promo code GirlsCanGrill. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull off a podcast next week, guys. I'm actually going to North Dakota to the Shields headquarters. They're doing this barbecue university. There are so many bigwigs in barbecue who are going to be there. We're actually going to be training the Shields team. I am partnering with Hey Girl Hey. So I'm going to be leading the Hey Girl Hey team, and and we're going to be showcasing how to do brisket, ribs, and pork, kind of showing their staff how to do it so that when you go onto the Shields floor, their staff is really knowledgeable about how to cook barbecue on different grills and some of the techniques and the rubs that we use when we cook barbecue. As soon as I get home from that, I turn around and I'm hosting the Roll the Dice in Vegas SCA Steak Cook-Off with BBQ. We've got about 40 teams who are competing in steak, so that's going to be a really fun time here in Vegas. That is April 26th. If you're in the Vegas area, come on out and see us. We've got B&B Charcoal out there. They're going to be cooking up some tacos that you guys can come and sample. Plus, you can talk to the teams, meet the teams. They're also doing 3 ancillaries in addition to steak. They're going to be doing a monster burger, which is a really fun showpiece to see. They're going to be doing crazy milkshakes, and then they're going to be doing anything chicken using my chicken rub. Easter is coming up this Sunday, so if you guys are celebrating, be sure to go to GirlsCanGrill.com, click on recipes, and then you will see my full Easter guide. I've got brunch, appetizer, dessert, sides, ham recipes, all sorts of stuff on there for you guys. So if you're still working on your menu, just click on that and then I'll give you a few ideas. As always, you can also find hundreds of other recipes and thousands of barbecue tips at GirlsCanGrill.com, and you can find me on all the socials at GirlsCanGrill. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you next week, but if not, I'll see you the week after that. Take care, guys. Happy grilling.